All right. So another thing you got to understand is forgiveness doesn't distinguish one sin from another. Okay, if you think it's crazy to stone someone on the Sabbath day, right? Okay, and you don't forgive them and you stone them, if you even pick up a stick, right, should God stone you for that? Or if the disciples are picking corn on the Sabbath day, or Jesus is healing on the Sabbath day, should you stone him for good work? No, no, no. That's where you're taking the law into condemnation and punishing a good work, right? Now, like I said about gay marriage, is it better for the gays to marry, be with one partner like a heterosexual couple, when they too do not know who they're supposed to marry or be given in marriage to, right? You don't know if you're with your soulmate or just some female who lives in the neighborhood with you. So, that's the point too. But both are a sin. But one's the natural act with the female, and then one's an unnatural act with the male. And you're not as comfortable with the second act, right? That's what you're saying now, right? Right. Yeah, but just with you. But it's outlandish, ain't it? Ain't it? He's wearing a skirt. Who cares? He can't, right? But the law of Moses says he can't do that because it's for a woman. It's for a woman. A skirt, a skirt. But wait a minute. Thought the Scottish wore kilts, which was made for being to wear. So again, that's kind of what he means too. Didn't the Jews wear robes and all that, right? But judge not, lest you be judged. Do you who commit adultery, right, also commit adultery by being married to the wrong woman, right? It don't matter whether you're committing adultery with a male or a female. That's still the crime, adultery. Now, if Jesus got 7 women pregnant, as Isaiah is suggesting, because they couldn't have a child with another man, and that also has to do with the woman at the well, and he also had sex with her, being her seventh male, and seventh lover, because she had had 5 husbands who also had sex with her. Then the sixth, who she was living with, was not her lover, her husband, but her lover, and was Jesus the seventh, and her lover as well. 2 men did not legally marry her before they had sex with her. Her guy she was living with, and then Jesus. Damn. Also could have had sex with her, right? But you mean, why didn't John write all that out? Peter's politics. Peter's politics. He don't think the Jews would understand all that. Because they wouldn't. I know. Last be blunt. Everything wasn't. Though, too. I know. He's not entirely wrong, but there again, he's letting the Jews also continue in the error of their way, thinking the law saves them. The law condemns you for sin because it says this is right and this is wrong, right? That's what the knowledge of good and evil does. If you don't forgive all their mistakes, too, right? But like I said, if 2 gay people consent, right, know they're gay and get married, that's the same as two couple, male and female, who don't even know if they're right for each other either, to marry as well. It's the same crime, right? The crime does not distinguish between male or female, right? If you're committing adultery, by the way. No, I don't. No. But if you're with a woman and it's the wrong woman and you're just doing it to get her pregnant, that's adultery too, right? You're just the first male to put a ring on it, right? And she met you first. But like the woman at the well, if none of the men but Jesus got her pregnant, not even the guy she was living with and having sex with, They were living together in sin, according to some people today, Sheena. Right? But that's because you don't want to understand the truth of the Word of God. That forgiveness is what Jesus died to teach you. Forgive everything they do to you up to your death. Even, and I'll pray to the Father and He'll resurrect you from the dead too. If you don't, you might have to be replenished. And wait till the replenishing to be resurrected from the dead, like Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Right? It's the difference too. I know. Certain people can be resurrected now. I know. Like the people who Jesus said shall not see death till all is fulfilled. They shouldn't be dead. They shouldn't be dead. If you understand, they should still be here. Playing Highlander or something. But yeah, for the last 2,000 years, they're in hiding too. All right. Now, if Jesus was raped, like I told you before, because the Gnostics mentions the rape of Eve. I know. But Eve was beguiled, not raped. Nor was Adam. He agreed to the terms of the tree's fruit when he ate of it. When the woman gave it to him, too. And he did eat, too. I know. He chose all that through a voice the woman heard. And what, she didn't tell him the same thing? I know. What the serpent said to her? Or did he hear it too? And tried to be as God to know good and evil with Satan? I know. Himself. He wanted to try that out. So you're also condemning Adam's homosexuality with an angel that was both genders. And if Jesus was both genders, like the scriptures suggest, right, from the Gospel of John to Revelations, he goes from Cephas to Blastoise, right? So you're being lied to about it. Forgive it and repent, or don't and die in your sin like Satan. No. It's your only option. God forgives you, though, even if you die with Satan. No. Do you understand? His forgiveness is unconditional. Even if you keep sinning till you die, even if you go to the lake of fire or whatever, he keeps forgiving you. I know. Whereas Satan keeps condemning you. Now, with Satan, you can't even do it. You can't even look at a man, right, to lust after him. You've done committed adultery with him in your heart, right? Yourselves, or a woman, And why is it an adultery? An adulterous act. You don't know who you're supposed to marry. Do you? I mean, are you so blind to the sex act that you think a man can only do oral sex when you didn't say that the following day? And not use his penis on you too? For example, with Sheena. I know. But I'm confessing my mistake. Was I thought she wanted sex with me instead of oral sex. That's what I was trying to do the night before anyway. Was oral sex on her, and I was trying to pull down her pants and lick her. But it don't mean it wouldn't have went to sex either, unless you said no then, right? But then we went to the park, started making out on the park bench, then went under the tree with a blanket, another park bench, right? And instead of licking, I went to sticking. I felt she was ready for either or. And she did not say no to the sex at all. Oral or penal. Difference is I was going to use my tongue or my penis. Right? Well, she never conveyed she was waiting for marriage either. Some people in the church, Sheena, don't wait for marriage today. Some people do. You have to tell me while we're doing that process what your feelings on that is before we get along, right? Because if I have penal sex with you instead of oral sex when you didn't say we couldn't do that. You let me beguile you or even entice you into the sex, but I still intended to marry you if you would have me as your husband. That's also a choice, right? If not, when I realized your breakup was serious, okay, I finally let you go too. Though I was confused just as much by your behavior as you were by mine. I didn't know we weren't on the same page either. Because conveying what your church believes would have helped me know where you stood on that. We just knew we were both from a Pentecostal type church. Well, like I said, my pastor was trying to jerk off with his units and was teaching grown men it's okay to do that with each other. It's not gay, right? It was. Now, you can't ask them. They might lie about it now. They might be all ashamed and realizing I'm the one telling them what they were really doing was a little gay, right? Because they didn't at the time. Either he tricked them into thinking it was okay to do that, right? They didn't know better either. But am I mad with them for doing that with each other? No, I didn't even get involved with it. Do I condemn them? No. I just didn't do it. If they tried to do the same thing with me, I would say no. So, that's all I mean. That's all I mean. Or act like I was asleep. If they tried to wake me up to do it. I know, right? Exactly. You ever heard of that before? Someone's tried to do something with you ladies and you're acting like you're asleep so they'll leave you alone? Oh, no. Well, like I said, it was either Locklear or Lockheed or something. He's talking about he had this pastor's daughter. She was with him on the couch. Right? But she said no, that she didn't want sex, but he did the sex anyway. Right? But her dad was still in the house. Is that date rape? Right? He asked me that. I don't know, because she's kind of putting herself there where Lockheed, or whatever his name was, right, is having sex with her on the couch, and she's saying no, but she also won't cry out to her dad, who would come in there and stop the sex act too. Right? Is that a passive no? Right? I can't answer if that's date rape or not either. Because though she's saying no, is it out of guilt or because she didn't want sex with him? But yet her dad was right down the hall too, and if she had yelled out or cried out, like Moses said as well, it's not a rape either. She has to actually cry out, right, and say no, and call her dad, who's down the hall, right? No. See, that's the funny thing about Moses' law. Right? It acknowledges rape in the song, even the rapist. Maybe if she cries out in the field or the city, right? Though it does get a little weird with the field one, right? It goes a little different. Did they maybe change that? Because Moses didn't say that either. I know. See, if someone's changing something you're writing, you're talking about rape, that's a sensitive subject for me, right? Well, what does that mean? All it has to do to be raped is for the woman to say no before the sex act occurs. Then it's rape. But if the woman didn't tell you she was waiting for marriage and thought you were going to do oral sex on her, you said and had sex with her, you might have enticed her to have sex, and she thought you knew she was waiting for marriage, but she didn't, right? Until after she freaked out on you, right? Which is too late, I know. She also seemed fine with the sex act too instead of the oral sex. She didn't say nothing about it. What, you don't know the difference between a penis and a tongue? Then you're still virginal and I was still willing to marry you. In Jerusalem, even if our shit's went there. Or even in Norfolk. when we both got back. That's what I'm talking about. I'm trying to figure out what the hell even happened. I don't know. Right? I don't know where our wires got crossed there. Even now, I'm guessing because I'm trying to figure out her side of it versus my side of it, which she never told me what was wrong. But is my honesty greater than her lie about it too? Who's still lying here? She is. She is. She, in fact, tricked me more than I tricked her by not telling me she was waiting for marriage, because I could have done only the oral sex with her because I would understand that as with Lisa, right? I only had oral sex mainly with Lisa, though I tried to use my penis on her. She wouldn't let me put it in, right? And I wouldn't put it in if she wouldn't let me. Either. And she didn't let me, and she didn't let you. So I never put it in her. And I used my fingers on her. I might have popped a cherry at the swing of her uncle's house. I'm not sure. But she did start bleeding a lot, right? Unless it was her period. There's only two things it can be, though, Lisa. That's the point. And I forgive you your confusion and my confusion. That's all you can do, right? And you're supposed to forgive mine too, right? I didn't do nothing no one else can't do or that God won't forgive you for. No, the Satan who don't forgive you and condemns you. It's never God. And you died because you condemned yourself with Satan, who died too for his sin, right? With Adam and Eve. See, the tree of life is always Jesus. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil is always Hallel, Lucifer, Satan, right? Because what he does is after the sin, he goes and commits suicide and goes down into the grave, into the watery abyss of the sea. That God also made, or ocean as we call it today. Right. Basically, he committed suicide after he had sex with Adam and Eve, which was consensual up to that point too. But what Satan did to make Adam die with him is he made him ashamed of the sex. Right. He made him regret the deal. Like he always does with you too. He didn't forgive it either. He condemned it. That's what Jesus is trying to teach you there. He could have even been raped himself, but he forgave it all on the cross, right? He said, Father, forgive them, they know not what they do, right? You gotta say that too. It's not a choice, no. Unless you want to die with Satan. And whether you understand it or not, you're helping me explain this to the world, right? What Constantine confused the church over. He too wrongly divided the word of truth as the Orthodox were, as the Orthodox Jews were, right? And it don't matter if you're an Orthodox Jew or Gentile, you're no longer teaching the whole Word of God. You're teaching parts and condemning your fellow man. You're not supposed to do that. Nobody is. Now, like Paul says, if you sin of the law and you condemn, the Jew first is condemning himself for breaking the law. And the Gentile too, right? But what is adultery too? Having sex with a woman or a man or both, right? You can even be bisexual, and that's between you and your partners there, right? As long as you're what? Honest with how they feel. All of you. But why can you do it still? That's the question too. Why are we suffering? Why can we still do this stuff to each other? Because it's a physical act. Can I stick my penis in a woman's butt or vagina as well? Yeah. It also fits in a man's butt. Can a man go down on another man? Yeah. Can two men do a hand job? Yeah, yeah. But there you're getting into gay activities. It starts with the hand job, right? Or jerking each other off. You're doing it with a male. Who are you thinking of when you're doing it with a male? A female or a male? No. That's the point, too. When you start judging, though, an act, either way, no. Say one of the ladies I paid to entertain me and be alone with me a couple of times, were, again, one of them was transgender or something. I couldn't tell if it was a man or a woman, right? Even if it was a male trying to look like a woman, I still let him give me a hand job, still. If it was really a him and not a her. Though he was dressed up like a woman, right? You understand, right? I could have done that once, right? But I didn't, again, really want a relationship with that person because they were acting weird about if we were to have sex. And they're acting more forceful about the sex act, right? That they would fuck me, sounding like more masculine than feminine, right? And I didn't do it then, though. But that's confessing my confusion over the person who was dressing up like a woman and wasn't sure if they were transgender or not, right? Right. I'm admitting that would confuse me. I don't know. But I'm still not trying to marry a transgender male or female. Though I'll be friends with them, you understand that too. I won't have a problem with them being transgendered. They can be my friend if they want to be my friend. That's not a problem. I'd even hang out with them a little bit. That's not the problem for me. I can even go to a gay bar, but I don't normally do that because gay people go to the gay bar. I try to go to the straight club, I think. But do I know if I'm going to a straight club or a gay club? Depends on who they're dating in the club. If you don't know, by the way, men and women who are gay go to a gay club too. Duh. Duh. Don't they? Right. So you don't know if you're going to really a gay or straight club if both male and female go to both kind of clubs. Didn't think about it that way, huh? It's another thing as to why you forgive, right? Unless you're going to a strip club, and there again, one of the strippers could have had a sex change and be trying to make you think he's a woman. You don't know. The doctors today can make the vagina look as good as a woman's vagina, right? Maybe. I don't know. But they have to make it into a vagina, right? They're not born with one. Like a hermaphrodite or a real woman, right? A hermaphrodite, though, has a penis on top of the vagina, right? What do you think Jeremiah means when he says a woman shall encompass a man, right? Well, this is where the boobs and the vagina is in front of the and behind the penis, right? The boobs and vagina encircle the penis, right? Metaphorically and literally speaking, right? The woman surrounds the man, right? So Jeremiah too must have known about hermaphrodites, right? Because that you don't even know what he means if you don't think of it in hermaphroditic terms. What does he mean? A woman shall encircle a man. Does that mean they dance around the man or something in a circle? Right? Probably not. Or is that talking about atoms, right? Where the electrons go around the center, and that the nucleus, and the protons are in the nucleus, right? Right. Anyway, they also encircle what would be considered the male part of an atom. No. Do you see what I mean? But it means something literally, metaphorically, and spiritually. In the realm you can't see, right? The negative encircles the positive is another way to see it, too. The hole from which you insert your penis encircles your penis, right? You know what I mean? When you have sex with a male or a female, when you put it in a hole, the hole encircles the penis, right? Now, if you're a male, you're acting effeminate, right? And if you're a female, and you have sex with either or, the male is inside you and you encircle him, right? Right? See, if you know about sex, right? You know what I'm saying. The woman encircles the man. See, put a ring on it too. You wear a wedding ring. That symbolizes the penis and the vagina, right? On your finger. The finger is still the penis, the ring is the vagina. And like I told you, even the tabernacle and the temple. The Holy of Holies is the womb. The holy place is the vaginal canal. And the two sides of the temple, the door, are the legs of a woman. You're really putting the sacrifice of the animals on your children. Metaphorically, when you offer before the altar, right? Which is also between the legs, right? Of the temple. Metaphorically, that's what it represents, right? And then out comes your sons or daughters as well. You understand? It's a metaphor sometimes. It's literal sometimes. It's figurative sometimes, right? There's more than one interpretation to it. That's a door, but the vagina is also a door, right? So is the womb, right? Because that's how you enter in something. Or exit it, right? Now, yes, this here is your opening for your mouth. Your mouth becomes your esophagus. Your esophagus becomes your stomach, right? Your stomach becomes your large intestines and small intestines, right? Which becomes your anus, right? And you have a bottomless pit. Here, no bottom. There, no bottom, right? That's what the metaphor of John is telling you for the bottomless pit is. Satan is cast into the bottomless pit, right? That's what he's telling you. He had straight sex and anal sex with Adam and Eve, right? Both of them. Adam was Satan too, right? They had straight and gay sex, right? It's a metaphor, a way to tell you in case you forget the true teachings, too. Where someone who is wise enough and interpretive enough and open-minded enough can see it, whereas if you're still carnally minded about it, you still won't see it, but you're not meant to. I am. I know. That's another thing about forgiveness. One person can understand it for you, even if you don't, right? You don't need a bunch of people. That's why I can be the chosen one, right? To forgive us and help us make it until the end of the duration of time we have during this tribulation period, which could be 12,000 years. Well, it goes from 1,000 to 10 days, and it's already been 6 days of the 10,000 years, right? But 120 times 1,000 is 12,000, right? And so, how long is a day to the Lord? At least 12,000 years by my reckoning, right? So that means every 70,000 years we could destroy the planet, ultimately, if we keep following Satan in the sin, right? Of condemnation. But see, you're not letting your daughters be daughters either. Like you're letting your boys be boys. See, they can't, be with a man as you're with a woman. And see, you let your boys be with more than one woman, but not the woman be with more than one man. Because then she won't know who got her pregnant. Huh? Maybe she don't want to know. Like I'm trying to tell Mary Bell, well, if you don't know who got you pregnant, you don't want to know. And I ain't trying to prove it to you. I'm only suggesting you can be mine. Right? I know I can't prove it to a stubborn bitch who don't want to even hear it, didn't even love me, didn't even want my child, it looks like. I can tell that too by now. She never wanted him to be my son, even if he could be. Which is all I can say about what the information she told me. not prove he is without the DNA test either. But that's why she don't have to give me one. But if she does, all her walls will have to crumble, won't they? But there again, if she won't give me one, when she wants one, I ain't gonna give her one either. You know what I mean? Doing the